Good.
All right. Thank you all for coming to Community Cooking with the Co-op. My name's Paul. I'm a librarian at the Coos Bay Public Library. With me is my coworker, Joshua Whitty, and the outreach coordinator at Coos Head Food Co-op, Jamar Ruff, and our cameraman, Alan Bartle, is behind the camera there. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Jamar. What are we making tonight?
Okay, so, I forgot. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Jamar, and I am the outreach manager here at Coos Head Food Co-op. So we are making jollof quinoa, roasted vegetables, and we're making salmon croquettes. So when I was thinking of like what to cook and what I was reminded of when I was growing up, and I was growing up in the suburbs of Atlanta called Gwinnett, and in my neighborhood, like my mom's best friend was from Nigeria, so I got exposed to jollof rice. And then salmon croquettes remind me of my hometown because we eat salmon and biscuits all the time. And I love roasted vegetables, and y'all know this, you know. It is one of my go-tos. So we're gonna start with prepping. Oh, and I did have a special guest. So come on over here.
Who is it? Do we need a drum roll?
So
Is that your mom?
Yeah.
Hello.
She's right here at the co-op today. And so I am a little nervous. So if I trip over my stuff,
You should feel like you're at home today.
oh yeah. No. Pressure like I can't mess up. I'm sleepy.
Well, welcome, Mom.
Welcome.
Yeah. So this is the special guest today. I'm not gonna make her cook, but she is gonna kind of watch what we do here. You know? Yeah, you can. Okay.
Feel free to step in anytime, Mom.
Okay. No, don't give her any ideas. So what we're gonna start with, this is a smaller group. It is Christmas. I'm so happy that this is gonna be recorded because this is one of my favorite recipes. Not thus far, but one of my really favorite recipes. So first we're gonna start out with roasting the vegetables. The recipe called for roasted, oh my gosh, Japanese sweet potato, which are always a go-to for me, and yellow potatoes, and then some leeks. Leeks are really fun because typically you always grab the onions, the shallots, but typically when it comes to a leek, it's like, what do I do with this big thing, right? You know? And for me, it is really delicious. It is a little bit more delicate than an onion. Onions are, whenever I think of onions, I always think of rough chop, you know, because they're like, you know an onion, but a leek is a little bit more delicate. So I have my baking tray, and then I have it lined with parchment paper. I've already pre-diced my Japanese sweet potato, so I'm gonna like layer them out. And it did call for 2 sweet potatoes. Okay. And I want them to kind of be like laying down and stuff like that. Now with my yellow potatoes, I'm gonna add those, and I did pre-prep everything as well.
So you just slice both potatoes thinly?
Yeah, so what I did was, and I'm gonna show you.
Oh, cool.
Because, thank you, Paul. Keep me on track, please. I told you I was a little nervous. Okay, so with the potato, well, I'll start from the whole one. So with the Japanese potato, it comes like this. And so what you wanna do is just cut off the edges. And then you just cut it in half like so. And what you're gonna think of like is making a crescent moon. So if I'm making a crescent moon, is that okay? If I'm making if I'm slicing like a moon shape, half a moon, I am gonna make sure I'm keeping my slices consistent. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. Hey, Stacy. Is that Stacy?
I don't know. That might be Linda.
Hey, Linda.
You're muted.
So I'm making them
I
into
think it's Linda.
Is she in the kitchen cooking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Yeah, she's in the
Yep.
kitchen.
Yep,
Oh,
she's in
okay.
the
Oh, okay.
Let's
So-
get her up with us here.
Yeah, so first you want to start out with preheating your oven to 400 degrees. And preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and by the time you get done with that, everything should be ready.
Okay.
I forgot my glasses.
There.
That is Linda, right?
Order framing this temporary. Okay. Start the device. Okay. Let me put it louder.
Cool.
It's a bit louder.
So you want to preheat the oven to 400 degrees.
Okay. Doing that.
Awesome.
So once
I got everything ready. I got my shallots, my onions,
Woo!
Awesome.
all stuff ready. My spices in there.
Oh, no, that's
Perfect.
awesome. That's awesome. So
I
because
got the quinoa. It's already made.
Oh,
Except
really?
I don't have salmon so I was going to make the chickpea stuff.
okay, the chickpea
So,
fritter.
Jamar, how many cans of chickpeas will I need?
I would just use one can.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, going to get it.
Cool.
Okay, so Linda came prepared. I mean, she showed up and showed out. She already has everything prepped. So by the time she gets back, we're gonna go. Hey, Linda. So I know you. Hi. I know you already have everything prepped so far. Hi. I already know you have everything prepped so far. So do you have your cookie sheet? Have you roasted your vegetables already?
Have I what?
You haven't roasted your vegetables already, right?
No, but
Okay.
I don't need those right now. I can do those later.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I guess you could continue where you were.
Okay. I love it. Like a seasoned chef.
As you can see, I'm in my party dress.
Awesome.
Okay, so now we have the Japanese sweet potato slice. We also have the yellow potatoes, and we're cutting them the same way. Crescent moon, making sure that the slices are consistent. Hi. Sorry, if y'all hear me say hello to everyone, you know I do this thing where I can't not say hello to people. So
And he is working in an open store.
yes, and so I cut up a lot more leeks than I probably needed, but that's because I love between leeks, garlic, onions, you know, always talking my language. So I have leeks, and what I'm gonna do is start adding my seasoning. So with the roasted vegetables, we're gonna do a drizzle of olive oil. We always do a salt, pepper, and a smoked paprika. Smoked paprika and regular paprika are two different things. So
Jamar, do we need to show folks how the leeks are cut?
we can. Absolutely.
Maybe real quick, just
Okay.
they looked a little different than the potatoes.
Oh, absolutely. So with the leek, so this is a leek. Typically, it's like really long. It looks like almost like a miniature tree because it like comes out and that's the thing when you are in the grocery store and you're like, okay, this looks interesting, but how do I even use it? What does it even taste like? What do I use it in? You know, because most times you wouldn't think that this is an onion. You know, this is in the onion family. Sorry. Okay. So I'm gonna start chopping. Do you want to show them how I will chop? Okay, so because it's so long, I'm gonna make sure I just threw that over there. But I am going to cut, and because there are so many layers inside, only thing I'm doing is doing a chop like this, and they're gonna be able to fall right apart.
Cool.
And I love leeks because it's like really it's light, and then when you get to the core, it's all green. And what I found is that you can use the whole leek.
Awesome.
So that is how the onions are. That's how no, not onions. That is how the leeks are sliced. And what I did was I put them on top of my potatoes and my sweet potatoes. And I'm gonna start seasoning. So I always add a little smoked paprika because it just brings out the flavor. I do a sprinkle of salt, not too much. You want to make sure everything has flavor, but typically, when recipes have add this much salt, I always kind of like I like it is a control thing. I'm like I'm gonna taste my food because sometimes if you're cooking for guests are gonna already salt their food.
Right.
So you always want to kind of less is more, basically, when it comes to the salt. Now I'm gonna sprinkle some pepper over, and my hands are gonna get a little dirty because you gotta touch your food. So I'm sprinkling the olive oil over it. And so this is the hard part. Not the hard part, but this is where like you can put it in the oven, put a timer on it, and forget about it. You know.
Sure.
So
that looked like a pretty healthy drizzle of olive oil there.
yes, always start with like I would say if I had a tablespoon because you're just going over it and you're already gonna work the vegetables, so you don't really have to put too much in it. We're not trying to fry the vegetables, just
Right.
kind of giving it a coating.
Cool. Work it, Jamar.
Oh my God.
You know I couldn't help myself.
I know. Okay. So got that. And I have my trusty rag here because the hands get a little greasy. So, Linda, you preheated your oven. Has the preheat timer went off yet?
Wait, unmute, Linda. Wait, unmute. Here, I'll ask you to unmute.
Mute. Okay.
There
Can
you
you
go.
hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm on a new device, so I can see you and cook with you. I always had to use my phone, but now I have this other thing.
Cool.
So has your preheat went off on your oven yet?
Yes, it has.
Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I'm gonna put my vegetables in the oven to start roasting. I'm roasting for a rule of thumb is always 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
When you're cooking with beets, you wanna I don't like my beets like cooked all the way. I still like to taste the earthiness of the beets. So if I were to add like beets to this to give it some color, 40 minutes is kind of perfect without overcooking your beets. But rule of thumb is always going to be 40 minutes for roasting the sweet potatoes, and the potatoes we'll be checking on it. But I'm going to put them in, and then we'll be using my timer. Okay?
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to put my timer on. Okay. So, and my mom will be really happy about this, but I'm gonna clean as I go. What?
You better, son.
Okay, and I have my
Jamie said, well trained. Good job, Mom.
so I have me a compost bowl. So I have onions, my shallots, my scraps in here. Certain things that you don't want to put in your bowl for making your veggie stock. I said compost, but for making your veggie stock are like stems. Sometimes the stems can make it really bitter. But I'm gonna make some really good soup with like shallots, sweet potatoes, and all of that good stuff. Now the next part of this is building the jollof rice. So we're gonna start with shallots because shallots are really delicate. Start with shallots, and then we're gonna cube up some tomatoes. So the recipe called for the cherry tomatoes. I went and the cherry tomatoes have sold out completely.
Oh,
So-
no.
I don't have any. Yeah, I went to the store and there were none.
So did you get regular tomatoes?
I don't even have that. How
Okay,
about, can I use canned?
absolutely.
Okay, I'll go get it.
So the cool thing about it is you get to make a recipe your own. when I went in there, I'm like, okay, there's no cherry tomatoes. I only got tomatoes on the vine. I'm going for it, So again, I will show you how I dice my shallots, and then how I cube my tomatoes. And because of we're not using the cherry tomatoes, so if you were cooking with the cherry tomatoes, you would put the olive oil in the pan, the shallots, and then you would let your cherry tomatoes pop. But with the regular tomatoes, you can just let them pop. I cubed them, and they're gonna make the same. They're probably gonna be even better.
Nice.
Yeah, and so jollof, right? In every country in Africa, there is a different way to do jollof rice, and it is an actual debate.
And you said rice, but you mean quinoa, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm used to jollof rice. I love quinoa, and I love tri-colored quinoa at that. So I was like, I don't really want to make rice. I would much rather make quinoa because it's my jam.
Cool. Jam on it.
So with the shallot, I cut my shallot, but I have it face down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make, with my knife, I'm gonna make long cuts across the shallot. So like long cuts.
Sorry.
Hey, you're okay.
But your video went off, Jamar.
Oh yeah, it's about to come back.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Alan.
Do you like my holding thing? Fun fact, most times when I have to think of like cool questions before meetings and stuff, they're always referencing vegetables. So okay, now with my shallot, so I went across making long cuts, right? If you want to take it up a notch, you can go like this, and kind of make this cross section. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it at its end, and then I'm gonna go, and make really precise cuts. And you see I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing because there's no point in rushing. Take your time when it comes to cutting. It's a lot safer, And so like my shallots, if you look at them and say for instance, like, okay, I tried dicing, but they don't look well. You can have it like this in your cutting board and go back over it.
Cool.
Give it a whole nother chop or two.
Nice.
The thing about it is like there's no expectation. It's your recipe. You own it. So if you're like, I said dice, it's pause for dice, but I want a rough chop. Now some stuff needs a dice, but other stuff is like, okay, so I'm not really familiar with how to dice an onion. I can always improvise, especially with getting comfortable in the kitchen. Now, so I'm gonna put maybe a tablespoon of olive oil in the bottom of my pan.
Cool.
And I'm gonna turn it over to medium heat. Now, thing about shallots is because they cook really quickly, you don't want to throw your shallots into a hot pan. So what I like to do is go ahead and incorporate the shallots in there and cold oil, and as it gets hot, I can pretty much control, whether my onions are gonna burn and things like that. I don't know if anyone else has experienced putting, I need to move the olive oil, putting things in a hot pan where it is olive oil involved.
So right now, Jamar, you just have the olive oil and the shallots in there, right?
Yes, I just have the olive oil and the shallots, and then I'm gonna move into prepping my tomatoes.
Awesome.
Okay. So as my pan starts heating up, I'm gonna start looking at my tomatoes. Now, so I started with the tomato on the vine. Like Linda said, Jamar, I could not find any tomatoes. I didn't get any tomatoes, but I got canned tomatoes. What you can do is once you start putting your olive oil in your pan, add your shallots, let them cook a little bit, and then pour over the tomatoes in. And what we're doing is the quinoa is going to be incorporated into that because we have to toast the quinoa before even cooking it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So I hear some noises. It's starting to cook.
What you got that on, like a low, medium heat?
I got it on a medium heat.
Okay.
I have like everyone has their favorite spoon in their kitchen, you know. You have your favorite pot, you have your favorite spoon, you have like your go-to thing and it's so important because that is the whole part of being comfortable in your kitchen, knowing your kitchen, using the utensils that you're most comfortable with, you know. So
gotta have your gear.
you have to have your gear. It's important. I will say I travel sometimes with cast iron.
I bet you do.
You're telling me I'll come over and I'll take over your kitchen, but I'm gonna bring some of my stuff from home, right? Okay, so
Anytime you want to take over my kitchen, go ahead.
hey, let me know. It's a real thing because sometimes, hey Dana, hi.
Is one of our cooks in the store?
Could write a cookbook. I have one favorite pot, and it needs to write the cookbook. I've been cooking in it for like 30 years.
There you go. There you go. So my shallots are starting to turn a little bit translucent. And what I'm gonna do is like show y'all how I cube my tomatoes. So I just went like this, and so they're equal.
Quarters?
Yeah, in quarters. Now, if you wanted to, you could make them a little smaller. If you're like, you know what, I don't have the time. But like, for example, right, the vegetables are roasted for 40 minutes. The quinoa is gonna cook for 20 minutes.
Okay.
So right now, the vegetables are at maybe 31. This is the perfect time to start your quinoa because it's gonna boil for 20 minutes and then it's gonna stand for 10.
Oh, okay.
So the whole goal is to have everything finishing at the same time, you know. And it is like it is one of those things where it's not as easy as it sounds. When I first started cooking, it was like stuff was finished way before it was supposed to be done. So, one tomato left.
Thanks, Patrick. You guys have a good meeting.
All right, bye. How you doing over there, Linda?
Good. I'm having fun.
That's what counts.
I will be happy.
Yes, that does make us happy. Your kitchen alone looks fun.
Oh yeah, this is a great kitchen.
Nice and vibrant.
So I've added my tomatoes over in my shallot.
Nice.
I
It's
just
alive.
did that because I knew to do it.
What was that, Jamar?
I just added my tomatoes into my shallot.
Cool. Are we keeping that at a medium heat or did you turn it down?
Absolutely, no, keep it at a medium heat.
Cool.
Because say for instance, like with the recipe calling for the cherry tomatoes, if you're cooking on a higher heat, it allows for the tomatoes to pop. Now, sometimes I'll help my cherry tomatoes because I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna press you against the, you know, you look like you're about to pop, I'm gonna like just press it against. But no, this is perfect.
Awesome.
And you'll see like the skin starting to pull away from the tomatoes. I don't pull my skin out of my tomatoes. I don't pull my skin out because I love that in the tomato, in the because it's fully incorporated.
Nice.
And you'll see like your shallots start to get a little tomatoey. Really good. Okay.
Nice.
So I'm gonna let that cook. I got 28 minutes on my roasted vegetables. And the cool thing that I love about quinoa is that it doesn't take a really long time to actually make. You know, it's Thursday. I wanted to be able to rough chop some vegetables, pop it in the oven, you know, put a timer on it, go ahead and like cut the news on or, you know, get my bath. I'm always on FaceTime, you know. That's what I do. But I'm in the kitchen and that's my happy place, right?
Cool.
So as the tomatoes are cooking, now I'm gonna start adding my seasonings. So
Oh, good. I can't wait for that. Yay.
Linda's excited.
So this one, it is just a cumin, a black pepper, and we're gonna give a little sprinkle. So, and I love the fact that you have, I always get a plate to like kind of put my my seasonings in. So now I'm gonna add that over in there. And I love cumin, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So I just added everything.
So what all did you just add, Jamar? Cumin and what else?
I added the black pepper, I added the cumin. And so with the black pepper, it's gonna be a half a teaspoon and then a half teaspoon of cumin. I always do equal parts. I start out with equal parts. Salt is it's always never gonna be like, hey, you have to use this much amount of salt.
Sure.
Only because it's one of those things where you can really be heavy-handed. And that is something that I learned early on. It's like, I can't tell you how much stuff that I over-salted, you know? So now it allowed me to kind of explore what the actual herbs do for different dishes. Now with my tomatoes, they're starting to break down and I'm able to press them. So remember I started with the quarters, now they're getting soft.
Mm-hmm.
They're breaking down and it's making its own little situation in there, you know, its own little jacuzzi. So we have we have the shallots and there's still some tomatoes that need to be broken down. And of course I'm gonna help them kind of break down. Oh, that looks great. That looks great. Help them. Oh, yes. And then I'm gonna just do a dash of salt.
Oh, I had to mute you, Linda, but you can unmute. If you want.
Yeah, I used tomato salsa.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you did? Okay.
It's all I had in the cupboard.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah. That's your recipe.
Exactly.
And now, you know, and Linda, if you're cooking ahead of time, if you're cooking from now on and you're joining, if you have questions about the recipe, 9 times out of 10 on Thursdays or the days before the cooking class, I kind of make it my business to be in the store. Just in case email me, they ask me questions and things like that. And don't ever hesitate to be like, Jamar, some people are like, I don't want to use that. Can I use something else? And I'm like, absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Me too.
So now that my tomatoes have kind of like broken down and the shallots and the tomatoes have become one, I am adding, so for quinoa, rule of thumb, you want to kind of cook it in your mixture before adding the vegetable stock.
Okay.
Before you start cooking. Because once you want to rinse first. Rinsing the quinoa reduces the bitterness. But what I found is when you toast the quinoa, it just takes on a whole different flavor profile. So I'm incorporating my quinoa into this first, and then I'm gonna add my veggie stock. Okay.
Here we go.
Into the pool you go. And then we're gonna, once we move over there, and I'm gonna walk you through how to make the
What are you gonna walk us through?
Oh, how to make the salmon croquettes. And I know that Linda has the chickpeas and did you get the jackfruit?
No, I didn't get that.
Okay. So we're gonna make, well, what you'll have is like we're gonna improvise. Okay,
Okay.
we're gonna improvise, and you're gonna do some. And so, is your chickpeas in the can?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So, question: do you have any curry?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any? Do you have any more onions?
Yes.
Okay. So, what you're gonna be making is side of chickpeas. Now we're gonna do curry chickpeas. Curry chickpeas, and what you'll do is if you can go ahead and start dicing the onions, chop it. You can do a rough chop with the onions, for the chickpeas.
A red or a regular?
Oh, let's do red. Red. Let's
Red?
do red to
Okay.
give it a little bit more color.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So with my chickpeas, now I'm gonna go ahead and incorporate my veggie stock. So chickpeas are a 1-to-2 ratio. So if I'm doing 2 cups of quinoa, I'm doing 4 cups of veggie stock, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna move this to the side because, oh.
Where'd everybody go?
I am right here.
I know, it's just good. For a second, it was just Joshua and I.
So I am gonna move this to the stove because I wanna just move it out of here. And the cool thing about when you're making quinoa is you don't put a lid on first. You want to make sure that it is bubbles, a circular bubble. Bubble is gonna like start forming, and that's when you want to put it on a lid. Reduce the heat in lid for 20 minutes.
Oh, so you have it simmering right now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I have it simmering. Is Linda back?
She's still here. I think she just turned her video off.
Okay. Okay.
You good, Linda? She might have had to step away. Let's just keep it going.
Okay. So I'm bringing my I have my quinoa right now simmering. I have 20 minutes on my roasted potatoes.
Okay.
Good.
So you have 20 minutes left on the vegetables?
Yes. Hi, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, I'm subbing for Jamie and Patrick because they had a board meeting to run to. I'm not actually cooking, but I'm cooking something else in spirit with you all. So
What are you
Awesome.
cooking?
Good to see you, Jen.
I'm cooking chicken and some grains and veggies.
Oh, well,
Nice.
you're kind of cooking exactly what we're making. Time to order. Time to order. So the next part that we're gonna start making is the salmon croquette. So I'm using canned salmon. I grew up on canned salmon. It's think wild, think pink wild salmon, wild caught Alaskan salmon. And what I'm doing is I'm making salmon croquettes. Now, but before I do that, I need to like kind of clear up my face a little bit. So as of now, we have the vegetables are roasting.
I'm listening now.
I was worried.
I had a phone call, so I didn't want to
Okay.
disturb you guys.
That's all right.
Hey, no problem, no problem. So what I'm doing in the, yeah, let me make sure. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and lid my quinoa.
My onion. Chopping my onion.
Awesome.
The raw chopper. And can someone put a timer on for 20 minutes? Oh, you got me? Thank you, Alan.
You
No
got
worries.
it, Alan?
Oh, Alan got me.
Oh, thanks, Alan.
So, with the salmon croquette, and I know, Linda, you're making something, you're gonna be making some curry chickpeas,
Yes.
which
I'm
are,
chopping up my onion now.
okay. And, did you drain your chickpeas?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, So with the salmon croquette, I'm gonna, first, I got a pan, because we're frying here. I'm using my handy dandy cast iron frying pan, and I'm going to at least go ahead and coat the bottom of the pan, maybe 3 tablespoons of oil. I don't want to put it too much oil into it, but I want enough just to kind of like raise up the edges, so that way the whole bottom of the salmon croquette can be covered, basically.
Cool.
You're not gonna cover the top. You just want to be able, so that way it comes up to the side, because we're gonna be flipping it. So I'm gonna and I'm putting it on medium heat, because I want the oil to be hot when I start getting ready for this.
Sounds good.
I was checking the sweet potatoes. They look delicious. Okay, so with my onions, I had already prepped everything ahead of time. But so the recipe calls for a half a cup of onions, diced. And I wanted them diced only because if you're cooking this for guests, you want it to be delicate. And with the salmon croquettes, when you do a rough chop, onions can kind of like be popping out the side and all of those things. But if you keep it small, it's much easier to incorporate the whole into the whole salmon croquette. So
Cool.
I'll show you how I chop. And it's the same thing when you're chopping the shallot. You want to go ahead and put some indentations into the onion, being careful, and then I'm going to slice really slow going across. All right. And so I'm going to incorporate, so I've drained my salmon croquettes. I got them in a bowl. Now I'm going to add my onions into this. And now I'm going to add my seasoning. So the seasonings for the salmon croquette is smoked paprika, which I love, smoked paprika, cumin, pepper, and we're going to sprinkle some salt. And your hands are going to get a little dirty, but it's okay. And so, Linda, have you rough chopped?
Yes, I got my onions chopped. I've got my chickpeas. I've got my curry.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. So, question.
Yeah.
Now, do you have your quinoa simmering?
Yes, I do.
So, is it boiling yet?
Yeah, it's kind of, slowly got little bubbles.
Okay, so if it has little bubbles, what you want to do is put a lid on top of it.
Okay.
Put a lid on it, and then you're going to reduce the heat, and you're going to set a timer for 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So, now this is exciting and it also calls for thyme. So I'm doing a couple sprigs of thyme. And what I like to do when I'm cooking with thyme is I like to run my knife down it, just so I can just get the.
Oh, okay.
I want to just clear it.
Right.
That's good. That's good. What do I do with my chickpeas and my onions? Put them in the pot?
So with your chickpeas and your onions, do you have a saucepan?
Yeah.
Okay, so pull your saucepan out. And what I want you to do is drizzle a little olive oil in the bottom of the pan, and then add your onions.
Okay.
So you're sauteing your onions first, and then we're going to start building a base for the chickpeas to go into.
And I got to say, before we started, we were talking about multitasking, but I don't think Jamar knew he's going to be making 2 recipes tonight. So good on you, Jamar.
Thank you, Jamar.
You are welcome. You are welcome. So you can never have enough time. And you see I'm taking my time.
Yeah.
Get it? Take it back.
Got it. I wasn't gonna
I like
say
it.
anything.
Looking at Tom.
Was that not a good one? No? Okay. All right. So I'm going to do like a little rough chop on my time.
And Jen just said, thank you, Jamar, for your amazing cooking lessons and for all that you do for our Coos and Curry communities. Thanks, Jen.
Oh, Jen, you haven't seen something.
Yeah, she wants to meet Mom for sure.
Okay. Come on over.
It's not a surprise. She already asked me if Mom was there.
So,
Yeah, I kind of knew this was coming, so that's
are you
why I-
serious? Hi.
Maybe I shouldn't say hi. How are you? So glad you could surprise Jamar tonight, and I just wanted you to know that Jamar is just a treasure in our community. He has
Definitely.
contributed so much to so many organizations and causes and efforts on the South Coast, and we would not be where we are today without Jamar. So
That is awesome.
He definitely helps the better good of our community for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. We couldn't do this without him. So
Yeah.
thank you for being here and surprising him. That's super
Thank
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's all over the place too. Just nervous. Oh my gosh. So nice to meet you. The last surprise I got
Here,
was
Mom.
Jen had me crying in front of a whole bunch of people. And I was like, oh my gosh, really shaking. I don't do well with them. But this was pretty awesome. This was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So okay, now in the bowl I have my diced red onions, I have my salmon, I have my thyme, my rough chopped thyme, I have cumin, smoked paprika, and then I have my black pepper. And I don't know if I did put any salt in there. I think I did, so I'll like throw some back there and then I'll put a little bit more. Okay, so because we are making patties and you want to hold them together, you want everything to hold together, I am going to use 1 or 2 eggs. Well, I'll use 2 eggs because I did use 2 cans because I'm cooking for the staff.
But people following along with the recipe should use 1 egg, Jamar?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I only use 2 eggs because of the cans. I use 2 cans. So 1 egg per can.
And Shauna added, so happy we could do this for you, Jamar. Your mom was so excited to get there with a big heart.
I can't believe this. I will have a conversation with everyone a part of this.
It's conspiracy.
I know. Like people kept stuff from me. I can't believe this.
Wait, you didn't know Mom was coming at all?
I did not know until she got here right before the cooking class.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
All the way from Georgia.
So you didn't have a surprise for us. You were surprised.
I was surprised, and then I was like, all right, I'm just going to roll with this, you know?
Awesome. Good job, y'all. Yeah, Shauna said they kept it a secret. Good job.
Okay, so I have 10 minutes on my roasted vegetables. My quinoa is...
Alan?
11 minutes.
11 minutes, okay. The goal is to have everything done at the same time. Linda, with your onions, right?
Yeah,
We're looking at building a base for the chickpeas to go into. So first,
Okay.
we can do a little pepper, maybe like 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. Do you have cumin?
Yep.
And how much do you like spice?
I like spice, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Greek, I can do it.
Okay,
She's adventurous.
we're not gonna make it too spicy
Okay,
because we want you to taste all the flavors. So let's do equal parts of black pepper, equal parts of cumin. So 1/4 of a teaspoon. We'll start out with that, a little salt, and then we'll come in with the curry powder.
okay.
And so,
Salt is pretty.
yeah. And so with the salmon croquettes, I'm gonna add a little bit of flour just as a binder.
Okay.
And so what does the recipe? You know, I don't really It calls for a tablespoon of flour. I put a little bit more in there. But so I got a masher just in case you don't want to get your hands dirty, but I'm going to put that to the side because that's just not what I do. I am going to incorporate everything. And I'm working it because it's going to break apart. And I keep all the bones and everything in there because that's what I remember when I was a child. It's like waking up for breakfast, eating salmon biscuits and biscuits. Salmon and biscuits. I know. Yeah. I still can't make biscuits like my grandmother. So I don't even try. So I fold it into the in there. And my pot is still a little hot. It's not still a little hot, but it's hot. Okay. So, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start making patties. And I'm making my patties even. Just because, some people fight over, it's like, yours is bigger than mine, and so I just want to kind of, and
I want the big one.
Okay, I'm putting it in my palm, and I'm just making sure that it's even, and my grease is hot. So what I'm going to start doing is, as I'm making it, I'm just going to lay it into my pan.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep making them. And the whole goal is like, you want the bottom portion to get as golden as possible. And we're going to not try to have the pancake effect because, like sometimes when you make pancakes, the first one is always the worst one. That doesn't have to be this case because we're taking our time.
That's right, I'll eat it.
Stuff in your kitchen, timers in your kitchen are about to start going off. So I have like maybe 6 minutes on my roasted vegetables. Okay. That's perfect. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna go ahead and start making the rest of my patties. Now, Linda, how is your onions looking? Have you added your seasoning?
Go ahead and unmute, Linda. I had to mute you.
I can imagine how your kitchen smells right now.
It smells great. The onions are beautiful. They're nice and translucent and soft.
Okay.
I added those spices.
So this is you're building your base. Now what you want to do is go ahead and toss over your chickpeas in your pan.
What was that?
You can toss over your chickpeas.
Okay, that's what I'm waiting for. Okay, we're gonna do that. I'm carrying you around.
Fine. Take us wherever you want.
Okay, they're in. Tossing them.
Okay.
I love chickpeas.
I do too.
Me too.
I do too. So with your chickpeas, what you want to do is let them cook for a little bit and then add your curry powder.
How much?
I would start with a little, and this is where it's so important that you start tasting your food.
Okay.
So get you a spoon so you can taste as you go.
And Linda, one of Jamar's actually it was his first recipe for community cooking in June of 2020. It was a chickpea curry.
Yeah, it was China Alo.
That's right.
Yeah, it was from Trinidad.
Wow.
So I can put this over here. I have my handy dandy towel. I know. I like salmon eating. So what is happening right now in my pan is that the salmon croquettes are starting to fry up, and I have me a spatula, and I want them to get pretty golden. So you see, they start making the outer shell around them. Mm-hmm. It starts browning, but it's not ready yet. And if you want to kind of like throw some oil on top, what it does is it starts sealing itself off. You can see like over here.
Interesting.
And I'm just, I'm not rushing it. I just think while these are frying, the roasted vegetables are almost done. I have my quinoa that's gonna have to sit for 10 more minutes. So, and we're looking good on time. We started a little late, so my clock still says 5:30.
It always says 5:30.
It still says 5:30.
But how'd you know to call me and tell me I was running late?
I know. Now it's amazing because I'm usually the one that's running behind. So I take it to a new height when I have to call and say, hey, are you coming?
I was lost. I was
Like, Paul, we can't do this without you.
I was totally a half hour off schedule.
Hey, it's okay. So I'm letting them toast.
Nice.
And so, it smells really good.
That's really
I
good.
bet.
It smells really good.
Yeah. I want the first one.
You want the first one?
I want the first one.
Yeah, we've tortured him for almost an hour now. He should get the first one.
So see how brown that is?
Ah, that's looking lovely.
So I flipped my first one,
Nice.
and then I'm going under it, right? And I'm just taking my time, so I'm like, okay, it may need a little help because you don't want it to fall apart.
Right.
Okay. Then
I need another spatula.
I was gonna say you might have to double up on spatulas.
I do have chef fingers. So how's your chickpeas tasting? And
It's delicious.
have you added your curry to it?
Yes, I added some curry. I tasted it. It needed some more.
Okay.
So
And
now I think it's just right.
okay. And is it a little spicy? How is the flavor profile on that?
How is the flavor for what?
How is the flavor
Profile.
profile?
It's very good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
That'll be what I'll be making. I love that.
So I'm gonna pull. Oh, it looks so good. So I love potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
you
a
see how the leeks look? I don't even have to tell if they're ready. I know they're ready. And then the timer for the quinoa. So the quinoa is still cooking.
2 minutes.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. And so what I'm gonna do is, because I've already made some patties up, I have a pan that I'm gonna put to the side so that way they drain. Because I don't want to, as I start plating, I don't want to full with grease.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move them around in my pan for a little bit.
You don't want to get the oil too hot. Nah.
Nice and good. And the cool thing, when you're cooking in a cast iron pan, if it's at a high heat, it's gonna still cook. So it's really important when you are frying ingredients. Once you get your heat to a good heat, reduce your heat. And I always if I start high, I'm gonna go back to the middle range, and so that way I'm not burning anything.
Right.
Because frying can be so kind of a little scary.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. How's your quinoa looking, Linda?
Excellent.
Okay.
I think
Awesome.
mine is done. It's very fluffy and those little rings came off of it.
Okay. And do you put it, so keep the lid on and put it to the side for at least 10 minutes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There you
This is exciting.
go.
I mean, so. Oh, that's
The first one done?
first one. And what I'm doing is So I'm just pop it over there because they're delicate. They're nice and fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I want to make sure that it gets, and do know that you can always flip it over. So you see how like it'll fall apart. So
Mm-hmm.
keep it hot. Like this one, because you saw how the other side is. It's okay.
Yeah. Get a little more on heat.
Mm-hmm.
And Shauna said, I hope you bring a plate home, Jamar. We are sitting here watching you at your home, seeing how delicious this looks.
Yeah.
You better not go home empty-handed.
Mm-mm.
The quinoa tastes excellent. It's so good.
Awesome.
I just tasted it. It's just beautiful.
Wow. I'm jealous.
And my whole house smells
So I'm
delicious.
gonna pull my
I don't know if I should go over to Jamar's house or Linda's.
Okay, so my timer is on for 10 minutes.
Wait, what's going for 10 minutes, Jamar?
So the quinoa. So once your quinoa is ready,
Oh, that's it.
once it's cooked for 20 minutes, you want to pull it off the heat. Do not unlid it, but pull it off the heat and let it sit for 20 minutes. Let it stand for 10 minutes, not 20 minutes.
Cool. Excellent.
So I'm gonna pop another one in there.
So Jamar, are my chickpeas done? Have I finished the
Yes, yes.
chickpea meal? Okay.
Yeah.
They're really tasty.
Uh-huh.
Very tasty.
So what you want to do is just, because it's already in the can, they already come out really tender because they're pre-cooked. So you're just like heating it up a little bit, bringing it to temperature, and let it. It's for me. Chickpeas are like really flavor absorbent. So when you put it in a pot with like some onions, that already wakes it up. But then like you add your seasonings first, toasting the seasonings wakes them up as well, and then adding the chickpeas over into it. So your chickpeas are ready to go.
Yay.
And you can start plating. So you have your quinoa still standing for 10 minutes, right?
Right.
Okay.
I
So
think it's ready.
okay.
I'm gonna plate it. I'm gonna plate it so I can
So
show
when
you.
you're plating, what
Awesome.
you want to keep in mind is you want to eat with your eyes. So when you plate, you're creating a can. Like the plate is the canvas. Now the food is going to be the art, right?
Yes.
And Linda, if you could send us take a picture before you eat, that'd be awesome, and email it to me. Thanks, Linda.
Don't get that. I'm not going to show this one. I had one fall apart, and that's okay.
Still gonna taste good.
I made it really big. So like the pancake thing, it still happened. That was my first one, so it's pretty huge. That one was for you. Okay, so we'll put that right there, and then one more in there.
Cool.
And what we can start doing is we can start plating. Because I have a couple ready. My quinoa is at 7 minutes. I gotta stick to the 10-minute rule. I'm sorry.
Are you following the rules because mom's there?
No, it's telling you, it's like anytime that I'm like making quinoa, it's like 10 minutes, 10 minutes. That's the same thing when I'm making rice as well.
Yeah. It's good to let it sit.
Mm-hmm. And so, Linda, did you use thyme?
Thyme?
Did you use fresh thyme? Oh, you didn't make the croquette?
No, I didn't make, but I will make those.
Okay.
Salmon. Take a picture of this.
Thank you.
Oh. And then, wow. So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, 6 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the roasted vegetables over, just because it makes it a little bit easy to plate. I'm smiling like, ooh.
I can't imagine how good it smells in there.
Oh, it's smelling really good.
I bet. You doing okay, Alan?
Yeah. I might faint of hunger.
I was gonna say, you suffering a little there?
I'm like, okay. Oh,
As he sticks more hot food in your face.
Yeah.
right. So the leeks have taken on this like golden color.
Oh, yeah.
Look at those. I'm like, look at those. I'm proud of that. Okay.
Alan, can you pan to the vegetables again? I was a little late on speaker view.
Okay.
Thank you. Yum.
There we go.
Awesome. Thank you.
National Geographic documentary style.
I love it.
Love that. So I'm gonna disrupt them a little bit just because, oh, they look so good. So as I'm plating, I want everything to kind of wake up. Like, wake up, everybody, wake up. Right.
I love that you combine the regular and the sweet potatoes. I usually eat one or the other, so I'm getting
Oh
some ideas
no!
here.
Oh no! Oh, that looks delicious. Can you take a photo of that, Linda?
I think she just did.
That looks amazing. So I'm gonna.
Hey, Linda, can I see that one more time? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
I said, because I didn't have the roasted vegetables, I put some spring greens on the plate.
Oh, nice. Let's see it.
I'm trying to get it so the light doesn't
Sure,
have a
sure,
shadow.
sure.
That looks delicious.
Oh, good job. Awesome.
And I love how the quinoa, not the quinoa, but how the chickpeas look.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Good
They're
job.
very pretty. And where do I send the photograph for the website?
Yeah, you can just email me.
Okay, will do.
Yeah. Thanks,
Oh, this
Linda.
you're welcome. My pleasure.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
so happy to do this. Usually I just watch, but I
Yeah.
got all the ingredients and I said, I've got to do this tonight.
Cool. Awesome.
So when it's like when there is the rest, that's why like we don't do like a step by step, only because like that recipe changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On who's cooking it, So that is the beauty of it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my vegetables over here.
Mm.
And I love sweet potatoes, by the way.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love sweet
Japanese
potatoes.
sweet potatoes, regular yams. I mean, they are.
I just made sweet potato pancakes.
Oh,
They
there you
were
go.
delicious.
I
I
bet.
got sweet potato flour.
Oh,
World Market, the market of choice in Eugene.
Yeah, yeah.
I found sweet potato flour and it was
Oh.
delicious.
Wow, that sounds good.
I'll be coming over for brunch.
You are welcome to. You're invited, all of you.
Thank you, Linda.
I know what's happening. Okay. It's 2 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Go for it.
Just do it.
Do it. I splashed this class all over Facebook tonight or today. All week I've been trying to post it so people would know.
Thanks,
A lot of
Linda.
people don't know. And when they find out, they're like, wow, I had no idea. So I'm a big mouth,
That's good. We like that.
We love that.
We currently have almost 200 people registered.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But, you know, and I also want Jamar's mom to know this. This is the lowest turnout we've ever had. Usually we have about 20 to 30 people every month. So,
Well, it's just so close to the holiday. Everybody's crazy.
yeah. Well, I'm glad we moved it a week away.
She said she knows because she's always watching.
Oh,
I
good, good, good.
occasionally send her and my grandmother the video to watch.
Oh, awesome. Good, good. Then they know all of us already.
Right. So.
Save it up for cooking something later.
This is going to be a garnish.
Oh, that
Well, yeah. They did. Oh.
Well, I really appreciate you teaching us about different spices.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. And most people, like myself, salt and pepper, and then what else? I don't know.
Oh, totally. Hey, Jamar, talk really quick.
Hello.
There we go. Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's lovely.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. And what a healthy meal.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man, that looks good.
Television, I'm going to try to patent smell-a-zoom.
We need to make perfumes about this, yes. I
Oh!
wear them all the time.
I actually, stay tuned to our YouTube or our Facebook page. We did a video of how to create your own scent. And it's pretty funny, but it was really awesome. It was really awesome. So,
Cool.
all right. Oh my gosh. It's not 5:30 anymore.
No. Once again, Jamar, awesome
That is
job.
good.
There's the timer.
I keep thinking it's mine. In the oven.
Good job.
Well done. Well done.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
And way to multitask.
I know. I love curveballs.
Yes, under surprise. I love it.
I know. It's like, okay,
You did awesome.
right, under stress. My mom has stressed me out, but it's good.
Yeah, they can do that. They are intimidating.
Oh, absolutely.
And thank you, Shauna and Jen, for the surprise. That was really nice. I'm assuming you guys were behind the.
I
Oh,
had
no,
nothing
Jen
to do
wasn't?
with it. I just
Well,
knew
thank you,
about
Shauna.
it. So thank you, Shauna, for the surprise.
I
Yeah,
can't
that
believe-
was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Shauna.
I'm like, okay, Jen.
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Well, then in that case, Shauna, that's a pretty amazing surprise, and we're impressed. And she said you're more than welcome.
And I hope to meet your mom in person while she's here. So,
She's here to the 30th.
okay.
Cool,
We have
cool.
So
time.
the 31st.
Awesome.
So if we have any like volunteer things, we're gonna sign her up. It's gonna be payback because, you know, as a child, my mom was and still is the organizer in the family. So I have it tear down and set up ingrained in my world, you know. So now it's like, oh, volunteer. We're already booked for Christmas. You know? So I think we're gonna be volunteering this Sunday, you know. So she's gonna be wore out, but it's gonna be cool. And she's
Awesome.
never been to Oregon before, so.
Nice.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. So y'all, thank y'all for joining us tonight. We kind of went on time, which we never do, and it's okay.
Yeah.
This was pretty
Well,
awesome.
have a happy holiday, everybody.
Yeah,
Happy
happy holidays,
holidays.
everybody.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy
Yeah.
New Year. And we'll see you next year.
For sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Shauna said happy holidays too.
Thank you, Shauna.
Don't get my
Thanks,
own.
everybody.
Oh, bye.
Come on, Mom.
One last appearance.
Mom, where's Mom? There
Bye.
she is. Bye.
You
So
want me all of
I'm
y'all.
And of course, thank you, Alan, for doing all the work behind the
Yes.
scenes. Appreciate you.
Yeah, he's stuck with me.
Yeah, that's all right.
He's stuck with us.
Right, yeah. Well, I do kind of like bring him into other stuff. I'm like, okay, Alan. Well, I kind of, yeah. Awesome. No, great. This is awesome. Thank y'all so much. Yeah.
Cool. Well, nice meeting you, Mom.
Nice All to meet right. you.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care, buddy.
All right.
You gotta clean up this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta clean up that mess. All right, buddy. Good job as always. I'll talk to you later.
All right,
All right.
bye.
All right, have a good night with your mom.